Hello, hello, and boy, oh boy, do we have a video for you. We're taking a step back, studying Google and everything they've been up to. This is a visual representation of 9 years of Google search volatility from Mozcast. Mozcast tracks the fluctuations in the Google search algorithm and has a weather forecast for every day of the year. The higher the temperature and the stormier the weather conditions, the more volatility within Google search results. And the weather is most volatile around updates. Hovering over this graph, you can see that a lot of these points are from unknown updates and some Google bugs, but there are two updates that were game changers: the Penguin 4.0 update and the Panda 4.0 update. Now, you may think that these updates came and went years ago, but the truth is that they're still running strong. The Panda 4.0 update introduced a series of quality control checks for search engines, while Penguin 4.0 changed how Google dealt with bad links. And by 2016, both had been incorporated into the core Google algorithm, which is why you don't see standalone Panda or Penguin updates anymore. They're running in real time as a part of the core algorithm. And for the sake of time and relevance, we won't delve into a full decade of data, but rather just focus on 2023 for this video. That would be a bit more manageable. Here is what the weather looked like in 2023. March was the month of the first core update. Websites saw changes, but tamer compared to what the future held. Then came August with the second core update, shaking things more with a bigger impact. While the March core update saw a low volatility of below 8, some sites did see bigger changes. However, in August, the volatility environment was already high, which is why many niches were affected. But we can't determine which update was actually stronger based solely on this data. The updates of October and November were a roller coaster ride. Crazy SERP fluctuations like fireworks on steroids. The November core update took almost a month to roll out and scored a whopping 9.3 on the SEMrush volatility meter. Now, the question arises, why was there another core update so soon after the October one? Google said this happened because this specific update impacted a different core system. And as there are multiple core algorithms constantly working together to improve search. However, the guidance about every core update remains the same. Marie Haynes summarized it best. The October and November core updates have been devastating for many sites. Core updates are rarely about one thing. Sometimes the losses sites experience after a core update are difficult or even impossible to fix. The good news is that in many cases, recovery is possible. Lily Ray tweeted her insights as well. Remember when last year Google added an extra E to eat? Turns out it suddenly implemented it throughout 2023. Google released 3 reviews updates, formerly product reviews updates, in February, April, and November. The 2022 product reviews update seemingly found its extension in February 2023. We posted a video months ago about the 2022 update and how product reviews were changing. If you missed it, you can watch it. We explained how Google was cracking down on boring and useless product reviews that didn't follow the new Double-Eat standard. The February 2023 update carried on that legacy and aimed to reward the highest quality reviews. And this time around, the rank volatility was higher. On March 1st, 2023, the volatility range peaked very high on the charts, as you can see. The update took about 2 weeks and immediately showed results. New languages were added, so it affected more than just the English language websites. Last year, we discussed the guidelines from Google itself, but this time, Google only emphasized providing evidence of your experience with the product and including links to multiple sellers. Next was the April update, in which implied material from Google became concrete. This meant that the product reviews updates were now to be called reviews updates because they were targeting services and businesses, destinations, and media like games and movies. Here's a graph from RangeRanker showing the volatility in health, finance, retail, and travel during April. And finally, with the November reviews update, Google announced that going forward, the review system was being updated and improved at a regular pace, and that there would no longer be any future updates on the status dashboard. Spam update? More like spam up late. That's how users felt when they saw the only spam update of the year in October. It was so big and impactful.
How big and impactful was it?
It was so big and impactful, if we were dinosaurs, we'd be extinct. Because although spam is quite meaty, the update was meatier. Peeps were wondering if their sites would survive the wrath of the spam filter, or if they were going to have to start all over again from scratch. Some even considered switching careers to something less stressful, like bomb disposal or snake charming. The October spam update completed its rollout in 15 days and 12 hours, and Google claimed that this update applied globally and improved coverage in many languages, including Turkish, Vietnamese, Indonesian, Hindi, Chinese, and others. Here's a chart for SERP volatility after the spam update, and as you can see, it sits high with 8.6 out of 10. Finally, we have the helpful content update, rolled out on September 15th and completed on September 28th. This update fixated on SEO-first content, so chatter on the SEO streets was that it was more about the SEO industry rather than individual websites. Even though the rollout was completed in 15.5 days, the impact took its sweet time to show. In fact, the most damage happened between September 20th and September 26th. As for the SERP volatility, it stood at a high range of 7.8 out of 10, so yes, it did eventually make websites vulnerable. Glenn Gabe on his website shared some incredible revelations. First, Google explained the helpful content update has an improved classifier, and that is clearly obvious. The sheer number of sites getting impacted is infinitely larger than previous helpful content updates. Second, and this is the heart of my post today, Google updated its documentation in April 2023 about page experience, and specifically included that information in its documentation about creating helpful content. He further moves on to decipher the September helpful content update in a way that many people got their path from it, especially the victims of the update. This might have been the warning about what the September helpful content update was going to target. With that update to the documentation, Google took the emphasis away from core web vitals and wanted site owners to focus on the user experience overall. Gabe suggested the affected bring better quality content. If the quality is good, then jump over to UX to see if it's a smooth experience for the user. Suggested changes were removing innumerable pop-ups and autoplay videos, both of which I personally think can go to the fiery pits of Google hell, which is the second page. Google tells us that while the helpful content update doesn't solely focus on the presentation of the page, it does align best with a better page experience. Throughout the year, Google did have some other updates that were never named. Did they cause turbulence in the SERPs? Yes, they did. The first of them was on July 12th, 2023. There was no announcement on the Search Central page, but it was trackable by tools. Barry Schwartz said, "I use those two signals, the community chatter and the automated tools spiking, to say that a possible Google update is going on." Even the volatility ranked at a high range of 7.7 out of 10. Besides, a lot of SEO experts on websites like Webmasters Worlds noticed some changes in rankings and even big drops. Even in May and June, there seemed to be some secret Google updates. On top of all of these unannounced updates, There was a massive summer heat wave of 137 degrees recorded by Mozcast on July 18th. And this turned out to be the highest temperature recorded in the entire year. In October 2023, Google announced that ranking was experiencing an ongoing issue that took 26 days to resolve. The glitch was in Google Discover. Okay, so we know about the major updates from Google and how they impacted the SERPs. But here are some other fun things Google is up to in 2023. Google finally opens access to Search Generative Experience through Search Labs. Search Labs is a new program to access early experiments from Google. Mueller announces updates on Google's Core Web Vitals. Google is now ditching the mobile usability reports and the mobile-friendly testing tool from the Search Console API. Furthermore, Google is introducing a new metric called Interaction to Next Paint, which will measure how fast users can interact with the next element on the page. Now the Search Console can be used to edit your code and fix your markup in a snap. July 1st was also when Universal Analytics officially shut down. It was the deadline for users to switch to GA4 as UA stopped collecting data after that. In September, Google announces that it now only shows frequently asked question-rich results for official government or health sites. Meanwhile, for all other sites, this rich result will no longer be shown regularly. On this, Google said, while you can drop this structured data from your site, there's no need to proactively remove it. Structured data that's not being used does not cause problems for search, but also has no visible effects in Google search. Moreover, in August, it was announced that the how-to rich results were only visible to desktop users. But later in September, Google decided to completely remove how-to rich results both on mobile and desktop search. Google said to allow time for adjusting your API calls, support for how-to in the Search Console API will be removed in 180 days. Google ends the year strong with Gemini, which is Google's newest and most capable AI model. Gemini is Google's multimodal AI, capable of many things: pictures to text, data coding, you name it. Apparently, it's stronger than ChatGPT because of its reasoning, multimodality, and advanced coding. Gemini Pro in Bard English becomes available for trial. Google considers it the most capable model it has ever built, and it understands, reasons, and plans. Speaking of Bard, it was also something Google was up to in 2023. Here's the timeline they emailed subscribers, including me. So overall, Google has had a very busy year. They kept us on our toes, and the big picture shows that Google is evolving, and it might just beat humanity at being smart. Google changes can be unpredictable when speculating to the T. However, there are some patterns we're seeing here. Google will always want content that is valuable to the searchers. It doesn't want to be a search engine that shows just another rich result. As long as people keep using shady practices to manipulate authoritative results, Google will keep coming up with algorithm changes to make it smarter and to provide more value over time. All these changes may seem tedious for the webmaster, but for the users, they might just love seeing more and more relevant results. Now, what do you think? Tell us about the updates that impacted you the most. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Until next time, this avid Google user is signing out. Rolling camera around updates. Or algorithm. Come on.